Watch out for on Friday, the 27th of October. And we begin on the economic diary, where we are following up on what was a very strong day for GDP and durable goods orders in the States on Thursday. Are we looking for a strong GDP number out from France? This is the first look at third quarter growth in the French economy. We also get consumer prices as well. So something else to watch out for in the early part of Friday's session. Then later on in the day, we get inflation data, or core PCE to be more precise, in the US economy for the month of September. That could be an interesting read as well, bearing in mind that stronger than expected GDP number the day before. Is the risk on the upside for US inflation, personal income and spending, and also the Baker Hughes rig count as well? Let's take a look at what's going on in terms of some of the corporate news headlines. In the UK, we get NatWest and also IAG. I think it's right to look at what's going on with NatWest, because NatWest, which was formerly RBS Group, you have to forgive the RBS in the middle here, which still has that ticker on this chart. But the broad sweep of things is that whilst there is an uptick in the news around the increase in earnings coming through from net interest margin, in other words, benefiting from this higher rise in interest rates, which means they can charge higher rates for those that want to borrow money. The problem is that now, with the economy as it is, and we've seen this from Barclays and also earlier on as well from Lloyds, is that there's an increase in the amount of money that these banks are putting aside to look for the protection for them against bad debts. Bad debt provisions are being expanded. Not only that, NatWest has come into a duty of care and a regulatory issue as well, with the outgoing CEO, Alison Rose, in a current spat with Nigel Farage, and also the regulators. And now there's a call from Farage to look at the way in which she was treated in the wake of her dismissal or leaving the company. So there's a lot of dark clouds following NatWest around. But the earnings out tomorrow could give us a better interest, an idea on what's happening in terms of the corporate balance sheet and profit and loss. As of today's low point, we're trading at levels not seen since the 11th of May last year. So that's a more than 1.5 year low for RBS, or rather NatWest Group. So let's take a look at what's happening in Europe. We have got numbers out from Air France KLM, Electrolux, Holcim and Sanofi. So there's a small list of stocks to watch on Friday morning for us on the early morning call. Let's take a look at what's happening in the States. It's been a big week of reporting for some of these big oil companies on this side of the Atlantic. We saw Total Energies do well on Thursday. Exxon Mobil and Chevron report earnings alongside Colgate-Palmolive and AbbVie. Both Exxon and Chevron are all session stocks. It means you can trade that from 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday UK time, and be following up again on this during the morning session ahead of Beat the Street. When we get those results, you can trade that. I want to show you what's going on with Exxon Mobil. This black line at the top here is a record high for all-time record high for the stock at $120.69. We're not too far away from that, 107.59. So we'll be interested to see what comes through in terms of earnings tomorrow. And the expectations are high, I think, because the company continues to focus in on fossil fuels over renewables. So that's a quick long list of what's happening tomorrow in some of the stocks to watch. And I'll be following up on those results from Chevron and Exxon Mobil in the Beat the Street at 1:30. Outside of that, do join me at 7:30 in the morning for the European early morning call.